What's going on, fam? Commanding General Yana had to get up in here with you, man, on a evil deal going down here, brother. Like, the amount of wickedness that is going on in here really will let you know why the Lord destroyed all them empires that was before us, man. Like, all those empires will regret for thousands of years from now. They will regret how vicious and evil they were to the Lord's chosen people, man, in these last days. These last days right now are days of serious judgment, and thanks be to the Most High that they are. You look at them wildfires out there, man, the Most High is putting hell down on this empire and all the empires in the world as they begin to become more and more evil towards the Lord's chosen. The more the Lord begins to punish them and to come down on them with pain and suffering, man. And it's spreading worldwide. The world is getting divided up by nations, man. China is fighting with India on their border. The Arab world are now aligning themselves. I know a lot of you heard about the two Arab countries, the United Arab Emirates and the other one, Bahrain, or one of those countries, got together with the so-called Jew.
For Donald Trump, the optics couldn't have been better. In the middle of his campaign for re-election, a historic signing ceremony normalizing relations between Israel and two Arab countries, the United Arab Emirates and Bahrain.
These agreements will serve as the foundation for a comprehensive peace across the entire region.
To be clear, while some call it a peace deal, neither the UAE nor Bahrain were at war with Israel. And the UAE, one of the most modern states in the Arab world, has been doing business with Israel quietly for some time now.
They've been working together. Everybody like, oh my God, that was so. They've been working together. They just making it public now to give Donald Trump some juice and to get some weapons. They know he'll sell them some weapons. You can best believe if all this goes right, they get to get them some weapons and prepare for what they believe is coming, which is a big war in the Middle East, which of course is going to lead to the Third World War as prophesied in the Bible, man.
It's going to be peace in the Middle East.
Indeed, Trump today suggested more Arab countries will soon join in.
We're very far down the road with about five additional countries. Frankly, I think we could have had them here today.
And though much of today is about Arab countries now working with Israel, what all parties share is a common enemy in Iran. The deal unifies opposition to Iran in the Middle East, a key goal of Donald Trump. And with Trump's view that more states will soon sign on, also today a warning for Palestinians to get on board, or as Trump put it, be left out in the cold.
And let me tell you something, you're going to get a lot of comfort in these days if you learn the truth. If you running around in church and still listening to singing and sorry ass songs from these Christians that's killing us, then you're going to be confused and angry and twisted as you could be. But if you start to open up these scriptures and learn what it is the Most High has been showing us for so many years that we've been, as a people, we've been ignoring. You start looking at that and you're going to start to see really the beauty of the Most High in all that has gone on. See, the problem in this world is that it does not understand Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, the author that sent these prophets to lay down these works that they laid down for the last 5,000 years. That's the problem in this world. But the world is about to see him face to face pretty much with what he's doing. Now, that West Coast is on fire. That hurricane came on in and hit them southern states who have been so cruel to the Lord's chosen people, blacks, Latinos, and natives, man. These are the chosen people of the Lord. You had your time. You ruled over them. You ruled, all the families of the Edomites have ruled over them. Okay, since the 12th century, you was coming over here to the Americas, gobbling up the resources and just living deliciously off of the Northern Kingdom, the Latino tribes, man. You poured your religions on them. You poured your ideologies on them. You slaughtered them. You destroyed them. You experimented on them. But you haven't realized in this world that the judgment is coming and that now is time for you to get up off of their necks. But this particular story, boy, really is something evil. Let's check it out, okay? As House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and the other Democrats demand an investigation on Tuesday into claims by a nurse at an Immigration and Customs Enforcement detention center in Georgia. In Georgia, like, why would you put anybody in detention in Georgia, seeing their track record of such horrible violations against humans? Like, any southern state should have nobody in custody. It should be illegal to have a prison in Georgia because of how vicious and cruel they've been to the Lord's chosen people throughout all slavery. But nonetheless, they have this detention center in there. That detainees there have been denied basic medical care and possibly subjected to hysterectomies. Man, and in case you don't know what that is, that's when a doctor goes in and takes out the entire womb of a woman so she can't have any more babies, man. Like, why would that have to happen in a detention center? These are they being subjected to these, which means the accusation is that they don't have to have these hysterectomies. And it's always recommended for black women already and Latino women. The minute you get some fibroids or something like that, first thing they talking about is removing of the womb. OK, and that's something that eventually will come out and see how wicked and horrible and evil that is. And along with who God knows what else they've been doing to slow down the population of the Lord's chosen people. Remember, it again, like I always bring out, the Egyptians tried it, too. And so did other empires. They tried to lower that birth rate of the 12 tribes. The 12 tribes, that genealogy of those biblical people written of in the Bible, blacks, Latinos, and natives, that genealogy is a super genealogy. Okay? Them genes and them abilities in those tribes are super abilities in those tribes. Okay? And when you start to really see how valuable, once again, because of our disgusting retrogressive leaders, man, black, Latino, and native, every last one of them, disgusting sellout pieces of garbage, have done so much to harm God's chosen people, have done so much to open the gate and allow the wolf to wipe them out, man. Some of our people, even some of our own Latino brothers and sisters working in these detention centers, okay, as enforcers, okay, against the Lord's chosen people, seeing the horrors that's in there. And you got groups of them turning around hating their own brothers and sisters who don't have papers. They done actually become racist against their own brothers and sisters who don't have papers from Esau, which is insanity, if you ask me.
Down there. What was going on?
This guy just started yelling, "Fuck Trump," and I'm only 16. I'm wearing a hat. Go back to Mexico. Hey, go back to Mexico, fool. What's going on, man? You like it so bad? Go back. Why are you here?
Hating their own brothers and sisters who don't have papers. They done actually become racist against their own brothers and sisters who don't have papers from Esau, which is insanity, if you ask me. It is insanity, and they would be the only ones to do it. That's how you know they the 12 tribe, because you the only one that would, for not having papers from Esau, hate your own brothers, man. Same go for you Benjamites. Those of you in the West Indies, a lot of Benjamites have no appreciation for the slaughtering that blacks went through in America to open up opportunities for the West Indian brothers and sisters to come up from the Caribbean. Now, on the flip side, I ain't gonna knock the Benjamites hard, because the Benjamites also became a lot of activists, man. A lot of black activists were Benjamites. A lot of them voices out there that you've heard of were Benjamites, man, howling like a wolf in that wind and bringing them tribes back together to wake up and to stand with the Most High. Okay, starting with that Benjamite music, okay? That, of course, went a little awry, and eventually they tried to wipe it out. You know what I mean? They trying to wipe it completely off of the islands because they don't want that type of spirit coming out of you on these nations, man, and prophesying against the evil that has been going on. And so we done become racist against our own 12 tribes, man. That's why you ain't gonna tell me. I'm not listening to no stupid black leader or Latino leader or native leader talking about some conflict between us and other tribes when we got an animal ruling over us that is wiping us out in what is beginning to appear as though a consolidated genocidal program. Is beginning to start to look like a genocidal program being done to the Lord's chosen people, man. Let me get a little bit more. Medical care and possibly subjected to hysterectomies without their informed consent. Dawn Wooten, a registered nurse who worked full-time in Irwin County Detention Center until July, outlined her allegations in a complaint filed on Monday to the Department of Homeland Security, Office of Inspector General by a coalition of advocacy groups. If true, the appalling conditions described in the whistleblower's complaint, and this was one of the brothers and sisters that worked in there that decided to drop the bomb and let everybody know what was going on up inside there with his brothers and sisters, which is exactly what he's supposed to do, man. Exactly what he's supposed to do. Let me tell you something, man. The Lord called us, we are as sheep to the slaughter for a very good reason. Because a lot of our people would just like us to just die slow in this place. When you better stand up and get ready to do the things the Lord said to do for you and your people to survive this upcoming Third World War. Because it's on its way. It's in full swing. Okay? It's in full swing whether you know it or not. And you better not wait till it lands on your door. And I always bring out the Nazis, man. They knew how to gradually work you into your death camp and bring you to your end, man. And people are comparing these detainees camps to the Nazis. I was shocked when I went in and looked at the comments and the different things people were saying about this story. I was shocked to see how many people was recognizing this as being just like in Nazi Germany.
The Nazis modeled their eugenics program on theories developed in California.
That was my initial impetus, to look at sterilizations that occurred, in the early 1900s.
Scientists at Stanford promoted sterilization as a way to improve society and even traded papers in the 1930s with their Third Reich counterparts.
And so as I'm digging to try to learn more about historical eugenics, I get this tip that perhaps there was more current day sterilizations that had taken place, and that these sterilizations may have occurred in the prison.
That was the beginning of extermination in Nazi Germany. They used the medical industry, man. That's how they did it. They used the medical industry. They used nurses and doctors. And you're going to see in this video how they're taking the power out of doctors' hands. Like before, a doctor was the last say in everything. Now, you got the coronavirus. You don't even have doctors telling you what the hell is going on. You got computer whizzes, okay, trying to tell you how this thing is supposed to go when it's supposed to be doctors, man. But they taking that power away from doctors. And definitely they taking it away from them in these facilities and using them. They weaponizing them in certain ways. If this allegation is true, they are weaponizing these people, man, against the Lord's chosen people. And it's got to end, man. And it only ends one way. It only ends one way. Don't be fooled. There is a power in heaven. You think this earth was just formed because molecules came here and this happened and that happened and it just evolved through evolution? You still believe in the stupid Darwin's theory, a eugenicist, a white supremacist, man, a cat that thought, through selection, he could make a master race. Charles Darwin. Like, we still walking around with that brainwashing in our mind. You think that it naturally, over millions of years, the sun got formed, these planets got formed, this water got formed, this earth got formed, all these life forms came up just out of natural selection, just out of gene splicing and all this? That's why the Most High said in the scriptures, your science is falsely caused, man. Like, this is a wicked, wicked thing being done to these sisters, man. in such horrible conditions. Let me tell you something, man. Just going to jail alone is a horrendous experience. Just going to be put in a cage and to be cut off from family and friends, taken away from your ability to move freely, you understand, controlled environment, forget about all the things that go on in a prison. That in itself is already a horror story. Now, the argument would be, well, if you committed a crime, this, that, and the other. But a person that is running from asylum in countries that you sold weapons to, in countries that you created wars in, and you put them in cages because they running away from being slaughtered with their children. That in itself is a horrific experience. Now, imagine you having to be in a prison and having to protect your little child in the prison. I couldn't even imagine that. I could not even imagine having a 3-year-old. I'm in jail and I got a 3-year-old in this jail with me that I got to protect and make sure it's fed and is healthy and safe every day, and myself. That's a nightmare. That's a absolute nightmare. Now you add on top of that you can't speak the language, and they know you can't speak the language, and not making any effort to make sure you have proper translators so you can understand what's going on. Well, now you done went to insanity now. You done went to complete insanity on this earth, which is why me, myself, and those that roll in this truth, we care about the truth. And we care about Christ ruling, because Christ gonna rule with power. And that power is going to put down evil in this world. And let me tell you something. If you a heathen or another nation or something like that, really you should be trying to be down with Christ also. I'm going to tell you why. Because your country is screwed up. Your nation is messed up. Your gods have been false. Your way of life is destroyed. You got nations on your border ready to go to war with you. Nuclear weapons and all type of chemical weapons and biological weapons sitting in storehouses all over this earth ready to devastate this planet, man. Well, you should be on board with Christ too. You understand? But being a selfish beast, you care more about you having power than you care about whether or not there'll be a future for you and your people, man. Because if you had 2 bits of sense, you would get yourself up under Christ and recognize that his nation will rule, but you'll have a chance to live and function on this planet, man. But you too proud for that. Well, you hold on to your gods, man. We found the nigger God. We're going to serve him. And we're going to find out which God is really the God of all gods. Okay? We're going to find out who the real dude is that said there is no other gods but him. We're going to figure that out. Because this is insane what they doing to these brothers and sisters, man. Let's read on a little bit more. If true, the appalling conditions described in the whistleblower's complaint, including allegations of mass hysterectomies being performed on vulnerable immigrant women. Vulnerable because 1, they got no rights. Vulnerable because 2, they don't speak the language. Vulnerable because they under stressful conditions and don't even know what they should or should not do. And in fear to go against whatever it is that these people want them to do. They want to cut down the population, and all nations have done it. There's 2 things you can count on whenever an empire becomes super powerful. You can count on them consolidating all the people into under one religion and one ideology, and you can count on them performing genocide on the population, because what they really want is to, all of them have wanted this. This ain't nothing new. This ain't just to Esau. They've all wanted this. They've all wanted what Christ promised to those 12 tribes, which is this. They want to rule the empire, but they don't want the empire so big that they can't control the earth. So they want the empire smaller, where they can control the earth, control the resources. They think that'll make peaceful ways of life and people won't have to fight over resources. But so meanwhile, in their mind, cutting the people off. Go read the scriptures, man. You ain't gonna see it in their history books. And that's something else, man. How dumb and stupid could we be? We're coming out of captivity. We gotta wake up, man, and start to see the world the way it really is. The people that have ruled these empires, they don't write their history and all the vile things that they do. You will know, you can't even find no vile things that they do. Hell, they saying now Egypt had no slaves. When ancient Egypt was a vile and horrible place. A vile and horrible bunch of genocidal maniacs chasing every crumb of gold they could get in their hands until the Lord brought destruction down on them. And not just them, but many empires over the years have had that same demon and that same spirit. And that's why the Lord's people are going to rule this earth, man, and it is going to be glorious. I'm going to show it to you, too. Here's what it says. Including allegations of mass hysterectomies being performed on vulnerable immigrant women are a staggering abuse of human rights. The DHS Inspector General must immediately investigate. This is what Pelosi's saying. Of course, she might even know about it. Who knows? Because them Democrats talking all that, all sides is evil as hell. 4 years ago, they had detention centers before Trump got in office. They was taking, they had supposedly this was going to be their deterrent, which show you they lie so much and it's so evil. Their deterrent was, we're gonna stop immigrants at the border. This 4 years ago, before Trump. We're gonna stop immigrants at the border. We're gonna lock them in detention centers as a deterrent so that they would not, keep migrating, trying to migrate into the United States. When everybody know that that was a lie. That the real purpose is starting to come out now. The real purpose and ideas, and you'll hear about them more, just like you hearing about all the things they did in the 60s, all the LSD experiments, the syphilis experiments, the Tuskegee Airmen.
Through candles and song, loved ones remember their relatives who were subject to a cruel medical experiment at the hands of the United States government.
They were never told that they had the disease.
For 40 years, starting in 1932, medical workers withheld treatment for hundreds of unsuspecting black men infected with syphilis. The purpose? So doctors could track the ravages of the horrid illness and dissect their bodies afterward in what became known as the Tuskegee study.
And for the sake of science, they sacrificed some human beings. And it raised the question, did they really believe these men were human beings? And so we really wonder about their intention as well as their behavior.
The Associated Press exposed the study in 1972, leading to its end.
It is against everything our country stands for.
And 20 years ago this May, President Bill Clinton apologized for the U.S. government.
What the United States government did was shameful, and I am sorry.
But even with an apology and a $9 million settlement, relatives of the men still struggle with the stigma of being linked to the experiment. For the first time, AP cameras were allowed in an annual gathering in Tuskegee, where descendants shared their pain and honored the victims.
My grandmother was affected, and she still had traces of syphilis in her system.
Henry Talley Jr.'s grandmother and grandfather have since died, along with every remaining participant in the study. A class action lawsuit filed in 1973 has outlived them all, and litigation continues to this day.
We owe them, not just financially, but we owe them to let people know their story.
Stories they want to keep in the public so the country never forgets.
You know, the gonorrhea, whatever it was that they poured, or herpes, I think it was, that they poured out in Guatemala. All the drugs and the schemes and the plots and the killing and the murder and the assassinations and all this evil that have gone on in the earth. You'll hear about all of it. Okay? 20 years from now, when the people are dead. Thanks be to the Lord. We're going to raise Christ up in here, man. We're going to raise that black man's word and that black man's spirit and that black man's voice up in this earth, and the Lord is going to step in. I pray the angels, I pray Michael bellow over and vomit before the throne of the Most High And I pray the Most High turned to Michael and said, what is this? Why hast thou done this before my throne? And I pray he turned to the Lord and say, I could not withstand, Lord, for the evil that is being done in the earth, man. I pray he say that. Matter of fact, let me get this scripture because I love this scripture on it. Hold on one second. And I pray the Most High turn around and say, man, why did you do this? Why have you done this? And he turned around and said, I could not contain, Lord, for the evil that they've done. That's what I pray. But I wanted to read this real quick. Y'all know this. Revelation 6 and 9 and 10. And when he had opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar of the souls, under the altar, the souls of them that were slain for the word of the Most High, and for the testimony which they held. And let me tell you something you better understand. John the Revelator saw this vision. And as he looking up and seeing this vision, he's seeing the angel open up seals like you would that come from a king. That these seals come from the Most High. And when he saw this, he saw him open this seal. And what you should understand and know is that the Bible is real. And that these prophecies that are written in this Bible, in the book of Revelation and throughout the entire Bible, that these prophecies will come to pass. So as you read in this, know that this ain't something that's thought about. This is going to happen. And he said this, oh Lord, he said this, middle of 9th verse, I saw under the altar, meaning under the altar where the sacrifice is made, the souls of them that were slain for the word of the Most High and for the testimony which they held. But those that have turned to the righteousness of the Lord because they believe in the Most High power. And because they turned to that righteousness, they got slain. They got slain coming up against this evil empire, man, and against this evil world that we live in. Most High gonna turn around, man, and you're gonna see them delivered, man. You're gonna see them delivered. You're gonna see those people in them cages. They're gonna turn to the Father. They're gonna give up Catholicism and Christianity. They're gonna give up these lies and Islam and all these religions. Give these nations back their gods, man. Give them back their gods. Get your God. Find your God and call on him because he's written of in the Bible. They've been using your God and giving him different names and putting him out there like he's their God. Kind of ridiculous this is that. They done turned a black man named Jesus Christ, made him white, and then put